and the he there is Jesus, shall grow up before him, God the Father, as a tender plant, as a root out of dry ground. And he, Jesus, has no form or comeliness. And when we see him, there's no beauty that we should desire him. He is despised and rejected by man, a man of sorrows, acquainted with grief. We hid, as it were, our faces from him. He's despised, and we did not esteem him. So, excuse me, the entire chapter 53 is about the substitutional work of Jesus. So there's nothing about him that stood out. He looked like an average man. He was acquainted with grief. He was rejected by man. He had a lot of sorrow in his life. We didn't esteem him above other men until we got to know him, right, by faith. But here's what he did. Verse 4, surely he has borne or carried, I'll use me, my grief. He carried our sorrow. He was esteemed him, yet we esteemed him stricken, smitten of God, and afflicted. He was wounded for our transgressions. He was wounded for you and me. He was bruised for our iniquities, for you and me. The chastisement of our peace was upon him, and by his stripes we are healed. All we like sheep have gone astray. We have turned everyone to his own way. The Lord, God the Father, has laid on him the iniquity of us all. He was oppressed, he was afflicted, yet he opened not his mouth. He was led as a lamb to the slaughter, and as a sheep before her shears is silent, he opened not his mouth. He was taken from prison and from judgment. Who shall declare to his generation? He, Jesus, was cut off from the land of the living for the transgressions of my people. He was cut off from the land of the living. He was stricken. He made his grave with the wicked, but with the rich in his death. Because he had done no violence, nor was there any deceit in his mouth. Yet it pleased God the Father to bruise him. He has put him to grief. When you make his soul, Jesus' soul, an offering for sin, we shall see his seed, he shall prolong his days, and the pleasure of the Lord shall prosper in his hand. He shall see the labor of his soul. God the Father will see the labor of his soul and what? Be satisfied. And when you begin to look at this whole substitutional work of Jesus was all for us. He shall see the labor of his soul and be satisfied. By his knowledge, my righteous servant shall justify many. He shall bear their iniquities. I will divide him a portion with the great. He shall divide the spoil with the strong. That's us. Because he's poured out his soul unto death. He was numbered with the transgressors. He bore the sins of many. And yet he made intercession for the transgressors. I love this chapter. I read it all the time, especially this time of year, because it really tells me, it's really sobering to see that everything that Jesus went through was for me. When we talk about salvation, that's a good thing you can do with your family during the holidays here. Ask them, what does Jesus mean to you? If he saved the sins of the world and came and gave humanity a chance, they possibly are not saved. If that person says, he died for me, he took my sins, my iniquities, my transgressions, you make it personal, you probably are saved. And so I do that at times. I ask, because when you look at it, everything that I had that God rejected or judged or condemned, Jesus took it upon him. He paid for me. And so when he paid for me, God gave me a pass. He reconciled me, so all my debts were paid, all of my iniquities were forgiven and forgotten. He gave me righteousness. I became part of his family. Jesus paid everything, spirit, soul, and body, for all of the church. And so that's why we need to love him with all of our hearts and serve him with all of our hearts. Anyway, that's today's message. Thanks for watching. Please share, follow, and like. Please join us at watchersoftruth.com, watchersoftruth.com. Give us your email and name. You'll become a part of our database. You'll have access to all of our books and DVDs, all for free. All you do is pay for shipping and then pray about becoming a partner. We need partners. We need more. We need to grow. We need to get to a place where we can do a lot more. Anyway, pray about it's $10 a month or more. We're praying for $425 a month or more donors to help build a foundation for us, spread out amongst 400 people. Anyway, God bless you. Thanks for watching today.